We're going to get an update in the transfer market, and Alex Crook is going to provide that to us. In touch with us, of course, this lunchtime with Intuit QuickBooks. Search QuickBooks and you will find out more. I want to find out more about who's doing what now in the transfer market, Alex. Let's start with Douglas Luiz. What's going on with him?
Good afternoon. Yeah, this one seems to be developing at a rapid pace. We heard over the weekend there was interest from Chelsea in terms of taking over his loan at Nottingham Forest. He's a Juventus player, of course. Aston Villa, his former club, that move is a done deal. I understand it's going to be a loan until the end of the season with a permanent buy option, only of around about 25 million euros, so significantly less than the 40-odd million that Villa sold him to Juventus for, and it's that extra body in midfield because they've lost Boubacar Kamara for the rest of the season. Your man John McGinn is going to be out for weeks as well, and Yuri Tillemans is facing a couple of months on the sideline. So suddenly, where Villa look really strong in the middle of the park, they look a bit depleted.
Interesting, Danny.
I like him. He's technically very good, confident on the ball. He's been there before, so he'll fit in easily. He'll know loads of the boys, which makes life so much easier when you're moving at this stage of when you're going into a fresh group of lads in January. It's tough.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. Did you say Tielemans was out for a couple of months then?
Yeah, 8 weeks I think is the latest.
That is a blow because he's been terrific. No, I think he'll go. I think he'll go straight in and play because he's not unfit. He's had a few games, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Recently, so I think that's a clever bit of business.
Anything good on this lunchtime at West Ham, Alex, that we should know about?
Plenty. It's been a busy window down at the London Stadium. We wondered if Nuno Espirito Santo would still be the manager come the end of the window, but to their credit, the board, who obviously aren't always universally popular West Ham fans, are backing their manager. They've signed a couple of forwards already for the best part of £50 million. Adama Traore is now a West Ham player. That's a £2 million deal from Fulham. Initially, he'll sign a contract until the end of the season with the option of an extension come the summer, a player that Nuno knows well from his time at Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're trying to sign Antonin Kinski, the goalkeeper from Tottenham. That's an area I think that Nuno has been concerned about since he came into the football club. And there's talk of Axel Disasi coming in on loan from Chelsea as well. They've got 2 domestic loan spots now because Igor has gone back to Brighton, so they could sign both Kinski and Disasi between now and Monday night.
You've got to give Sullivan his due, Simon. He gets in about it every transfer window.
What?
They're always trying to do business to get bodies into the building, are they not?
You want tickets this week or something?
No. I'm fine for tickets, thanks. But
I don't think it's the fact they're in for players and getting people in the building. I think it's the lack of quality they bring in and the wrong choices they make that the West Ham fans are probably most frustrated by. Because
they're in a relegation battle, Dan, and they're trying to get out of it.
They've signed 84 strikers in about 5 years, and none of them have worked, have they?
Yeah, unlike his old lot, they're trying to sell Mateta. They're just having a fire sale.
They're selling Paqueta.
Who? West Ham? Yeah. Well,
what are you on about there?
There are reasons for that. Anyway, let's move on. Raheem Sterling. I remember him. So what's next for him, Alex?
Well, it wouldn't be unlike Raheem Sterling to pop up on deadline day, would it? I remember a couple of years ago, Jim, when he made his move to Arsenal, literally minutes before the window closed. The information I had yesterday was that options were pretty thin on the ground for Raheem Sterling. West Ham wanted to take him on loan earlier in the window, but he wasn't keen to make that move. He's looking for a permanent transfer. Fulham and Marco Silva have historic interest, but they're all in for Oscar Bob, so difficult to see where Sterling fits in there. I wonder if Crystal Palace could make a play for Raheem Sterling, because it's well known that he wants to stay in London. If he doesn't get a move between now and 7 o'clock on Monday when the window closes, the noise coming out of Chelsea is they may have to sit down and look at potentially paying up his contract, which is going to cost a few quid because he's got 18 months left on his deal and he's earning in excess of £300,000 a week.
Oof.
Oh, lucky boy.
Lucky lad.
Palace would suit. They need numbers. He's fit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that.
So Simon shaking his head. He's only 31, Raheem Sterling. He turned 31 in December. I think because he's been around for so long, we see him as a veteran, but surely he still has something to offer.
Yeah, definitely.
He seems highly motivated.
But on a serious note, Danny, what has happened? You played the game at the highest level. He scored a goal and it was a fluke at Wembley in a charity game. You've done a lot at this level. Danny, what has happened to a lad like Raheem that he goes from there to there?
Well, I think it's hard to be categoric with a view on someone you don't know what's going on completely. But, I mean, he went to Chelsea with, I'm sure, best intention. And I actually thought it was a decent sign at the time because of how well he'd done at City. And he struggled. and his confidence dropped. Different changes in managers didn't seem to fancy him. And then he's in this position where he's earning so much money that he won't sacrifice that to go and play somewhere else, which is down to him. So he's decided the best part of an 18 months now of his career he's written off because he doesn't want to sacrifice that money, and that's fair enough. It's up to him. It's his choice. Not what I'd do, because I love playing. And when I wasn't playing, it affected me.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Personality.
I think there is a personal
personality. Sorry, Alex. We're just talking about Danny's personality there.
As well. He wants to stay in London. The family are settled
family,
in London.
kids.
The kids are happy at their school.
Yeah, but your kids are there. Your
me.
kids are yeah. Look, everyone's different. He needs to play, and I think depending on what percentage Palace are prepared to pay of his wage or whatever it may be, just go and get yourself playing.
Oh, Alex,
he can play Premier League
yet as well. Did you say he's 31, Alex? Yeah. Years ahead of him.
Turned 31 in December.
If you're Bully or Bally Simon at Chelsea, are you working on a contract termination? Because he's earning a fortune.
Well, that's the challenge, isn't it? And that's the model that subsequently they don't want anymore, which was the model that brought Raheem Sterling in on ridiculous salaries.
What is that? 300 over 18 months. 300.
What is it? It's about 22.5 million, isn't it? If you look at it, he got bombed at City.
Sterling was their first signing.
He got bombed at City. He's been bombed at Chelsea. He's got bombed at Arsenal. What's the common denominator? Raheem Sterling. Why would Crystal Palace want to sign a player that doesn't want to lift a leg, would rather sit there? I guarantee you wouldn't be so concerned about playing in London or living in London or working in London if someone came and offered him £500 a week.
Well, Saudi, you mean? He didn't get bombed at City. Let's just get that right.
He did. He was constantly in and out of the side with Guardiola. He was not a constant, and they got him out the door.
Yeah, but while his
whilst we were making this big noise,
stock was high.
They were making a big noise about him for England, and he wasn't a regular. And there was always the headlines about why he's not getting patronised the way he should be at Man City because he's a young English player.
You can't deny he was a winner at Manchester City.
He was part of a winning team.
Yeah,
he had some really good years there. And for 2 or 3 years, he was England's best player. Let's not forget that.
Alex, why are there still so many stories floating about Cole Palmer?
Well, I think this stems from a comment piece in one of the tabloid papers, a sort of deep dive into life at Chelsea, in which it was mentioned that Cole Palmer maybe isn't completely settled in London, feels a bit homesick and hankering for a return to the Northwest. Chelsea have made it pretty clear in the last 24 hours, Cole Palmer is, quotes, untouchable. He's one player that, despite their model of buying young players and then selling for profit, they're not willing to cash in on. And you can understand it, because I don't think we've seen the best Cole Palmer this season. I don't think he's ever really been fully fit, to be honest, since the fact that they're having to manage his minutes. But when he is fit and firing, I think he is their best player, certainly going forward.
Yeah. Let's touch on Bournemouth. Still doing business. Mr. Foley has got the checkbook out.
He has, and obviously they've been a selling club in the last couple of windows, particularly last summer. They've lost Antoine Semenyo in this window, replaced him with Ryan, a 19-year-old Brazilian winger coming in from Vasco da Gama. We broke the news yesterday. There's a release clause in his contract. Wait for it. 100 million euros. A 19-year-old has that release clause in his contract at Bournemouth. Just shows you where the game is going and also how highly they think he could become in the future. They're also looking to bring in a winger from Inter Milan, Luis Henrique. That will be a loan deal with the option of a permanent transfer of around about £18 million.
Crookie, can I just ask you what's going on with your hair? There's a lot of product in there today.
Do you know what? I've just jumped out of the shower, actually, Danny. I did a 5K.
Oh, did you?
27 minutes, and then I just had a quick shower and jumped straight out to speak to you.
What'd you do, on a bike?
Well done, Alex. You're looking great.
Someone's back, yeah.
More close to me, unfortunately for me, is Simon. What were you looking at me like
I
that
don't see
for?
how Alex gets away of characterising Bournemouth as a selling club. Why are they selling club? Because someone triggers a release clause on Semenyo. And why are they selling club? Because players like Kirkis want to go and play for Liverpool and ultimately suggest to the club that they want to leave.
Well, I think it's just a term of phrase when someone
but
sells
it's
a
not,
lot of players.
But it's not. But it's a term. It's a term of phrase that suggests that the club's got an ambition underneath it. If you're a selling club, it's because you don't want to maintain the aspects of opportunity that are presented by the best players that you've got, and that's not true.
Alex, come in and defend yourself against old Lippy here.
Well, listen, Bill Foley told me that he didn't want to be a selling club. He wanted it to be a club where players came and laid down roots, but that hasn't really happened, is it? And listen, it's not detrimental. If you're Bournemouth and you're selling players to Real Madrid, Liverpool, PSG, Manchester City, and you're selling for a profit, then your recruitment department is...
But the point is, my point is that you bone idle scrotes in the media latch on upon a narrative and you never let it go. So poor Bill Foley now will have to live with the moniker that you've attached to him, that he's got a selling club rather than an ambitious one. And that's what you meant.
That Bill Foley knows about me is I'll always have Bournemouth's back, Simon. They're a club that I've followed for a long time.
And you're certainly not bone idle.
But he is a scrub.
Thank you, Danny.
Alex, let's get this one out before this descends any further. James Ward-Prowse, again, a player who seems to be standing still at this particular time.
Yeah, obviously has been frozen out of West Ham under Nuno, as he was at Forest actually during his loan spell. Was back on the bench for West Ham at the weekend, but I think only out of necessity. Looks like he's off to Burnley on loan to go and play for a manager in Scott Parker, who I think will appreciate his talent and his attitude as well. Probably too little, too late to save Burnley from their inevitable return to the Championship, but a good move, I think, for Ward-Prowse just to get out and get some minutes.
On set plays alone, he could get you an extra 6-9 points.